Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'd like to do is show you how to simplify this radical expression by rationalizing the denominator. But before we even rationalize the denominator, the first thing I always like to do is try to see, how can we simplify each radical first, all right? And take the square root of m cubed. I realize that I can rewrite that as the square root of m squared times m. And my denominator, I can rewrite that as the square root of 4 times 2 times p. And what's important about this is, remember, when you multiply when you multiply exponents, you add the powers, right? So that's m2 times m to the first power, which would be m to the third. But what's important about that is, first of all, m squared is a squared number. So I can take the square root of m squared, which is just going to be m. And 4 is a square number. I can take the square root of that. So therefore, I reason here, I'm going to now have m times the square root of m divided by 2 times the square root of 2p. All right, once you get through a little practice, you can do a lot of this a little bit easier, but I always think it's easier to simplify, then apply your operations, and then simplify again if needed. So now we need to get rid of our radical in the denominator. So to do that, we need to rationalize the denominator. So we're going to multiply by 2p. And we need to make sure we multiply by 2p on the top and the bottom. Now, remember, when we're multiplying two radicals, we can multiply inside of our radicand. But in this case, when we have a number that's the same, for instance, 2p times the square root of 2p, that's equal to the square root of 2 times p times p. And if you remember rationalizing you measure prime factorization, you can take out pairs of 2's and p's, and then your final answer would just be 2p. Or we could also rewrite this as 2 squared times p squared, where I can take the square root of anything squared is just going to be 2 and p. So therefore, by simplifying this, I multiply my m and my 2p under my radicand. So I have 2 times pm. I'll switch that around so it makes nice pm, right? And then here, remember, the square root of my product of 2p times 2p is just going to be 2 times 2p. And I can rewrite that as m times the square root of 2pm divided by 4p. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you simplify your radical expression by rationalizing the denominator. Thanks.